White hair completely changes the relationship between your face and the colors of your clothes. What once looked good may start creating a dull effect, while colors you never even considered suddenly bring surprising brightness. This happens because the white in your hair works like a neutral, highly reflective frame that intensifies or softens everything close to your face. The point is not about following rigid matching rules, but understanding how different colors interact with this new neutrality of your hair to create the effects you actually want. Some choices bring instant elegance, others create interesting contrast, and some will simply make you look tired for no apparent reason. White hair creates a very specific visual effect. It is simultaneously neutral and extremely present. Unlike colored hair that already brings warmth or coolness to the whole look, white is like a blank canvas that amplifies or neutralizes the colors next to it. That's why the color of your blouse stops being just about personal preference and starts playing a technical role in the visual composition of your face. Colors very close to the face, such as blouses, scarves, and necklaces, have direct power over how your skin appears. They can brighten, they can create shadows, they can bring freshness, or they can flatten your entire expression. Understanding this dynamic is what separates a random choice from a strategic one. The first thing to keep in mind is that white hair automatically eliminates temperature competition. When you had warm brown hair, for example, certain cool colors could feel out of place because they created a visual clash between the temperature of your hair and your clothing. With white, that dispute disappears. White is thermally neutral, so both warm and cool colors can work perfectly well as long as you consider your skin's undertone. This is where the real opportunity lies. You gain the freedom to explore the entire color palette without that feeling that something is clashing with your hair. The challenge becomes finding the colors that create the right effect on your skin, not on your hair. Cool, deep colors create one of the most sophisticated effects with white hair. Navy blue, eggplant, dark emerald green. These shades bring immediate elegance because they establish strong contrast without competing for attention. White hair becomes even more luminous against these deep tones, and the skin gains definition. The secret of these colors is that they visually anchor the look without weighing it down, because the contrast is clean and clear. It's not an aggressive contrast like solid black can sometimes be, but a noble contrast that highlights features without hardening them. Emerald green especially has a particular magic. It brings freshness without being overly youthful, sophistication without being stiff. It's a color few people explore, but that works extraordinarily well when the hair is white. True red, that pure red that doesn't lean orange or wine, is another powerful choice few people consider. There's a widespread fear that red is too flashy or inappropriate for those over 40, but that's pure unfounded prejudice. Pure red close to the face brightens the skin in a way almost no other color can. It brings warmth without making the skin look yellow, creates energy without looking festive, and pairs perfectly with the neutrality of white hair. The key is choosing a medium intensity red, not so vibrant it feels like a costume, nor so muted that it loses impact. A well-chosen red is synonymous with presence and confidence, and works for both formal and casual situations. Just adjust the fit and fabric of the piece. Light colors require special attention because this is where many people go wrong, thinking they're doing the right thing. The logic seems simple. White hair goes well with light clothes because both are luminous. The problem is that too much lightness creates a completely washed out effect, where everything blends into a pale mass with no definition. Baby pink, soft pastel blue, pastel yellow, these colors that seem delicate and feminine in theory can, in practice, make you disappear inside your own outfit. But that doesn't mean you need to abandon light colors entirely. The trick is choosing light tones with personality, with enough saturation not to disappear. A light grayish pink, for example, works infinitely better than pure baby pink. A light steel blue is much more interesting than a faded sky blue. The difference lies in the complexity of the color, not just its lightness. Off-white and sand tones deserve their own category because they generate a lot of confusion. These colors are neutral, but not neutral in the same way pure white is. They bring subtle warmth that can be exactly what's missing to soften a look with white hair, or it can be the element that makes everything look dull and lifeless. The decisive variable here is the texture and drape of the fabric. Off-white in a smooth, structured fabric can look institutional and flat, but the same off-white in a textured fabric, like crinkled linen or a knit with special stitching, gains dimension and becomes sophisticated. Sand tones work best when they have depth, like a grayish beige or a camel with body, avoiding those orange-beige shades that can make the skin look tired. Medium intensity pink is an unexpected revelation for many people. Not bubblegum pink or baby pink, but that pink with presence, like a more subdued fuchsia or a medium pink with an earthy touch. This family of pinks brings an absolutely fresh effect to the face, brightening the skin without looking forced. The right pink has an almost magical ability to instantly give that rested, radiant look, and that's especially valuable when the goal is to look good without much effort. White hair provides the neutrality needed, so pink doesn't turn into childish excess. It's a color that conveys mature femininity, not trying to look younger, but definitely choosing to look vibrant and present. Before we go on, do you also waste time every day not knowing what to wear? If that's your situation, the Look Gallery solves it. It's 1,000 ready-to-wear outfits organized by weather and occasion. You open it on your phone, choose what makes sense for your day, and that's it, a complete outfit to copy, no thinking and no time wasted. Just scan the QR on the screen or click the pinned link. Earth tones like terracotta, burnt caramel, and brick brown create a completely different effect, more grounded and approachable. These colors don't have the formality of deep blues, nor the energy of reds, but they bring a kind of genuine warmth that is very visually comforting. They work especially well for everyday wear because they're versatile without being monotonous. The contrast they create with white hair is soft, yet present, establishing an organic harmony that feels natural. The big advantage of earth tones is that they rarely go terribly wrong. They're a safe bet that still has personality. These are colors that age well with you without seeming like they're trying to hide or disguise anything. Purple and lavender don't come up often in fashion conversations, but they're surprisingly functional colors for white hair. Medium purple, the one that's neither as dark as eggplant nor as light as faded lavender, creates a subtle refinement effect. It's a color with historical nobility associated with luxury and sophistication, but at the same time not pretentious. The right purple near the face brings a different kind of light to the skin, a cool luminosity that isn't harsh. Lavender, when chosen with adequate saturation, has a calming and modern effect at the same time. It's a color that works beautifully in fluid, lightweight fabrics, creating movement without visual heaviness. Royal blue and Klein. Blue deserve special highlight because they are impactful colors. Many people are afraid to wear. The intensity of these blues may seem excessive at first glance, but when paired with white hair, they create a cinematic elegance. These are colors with strong presence, but not aggressive, that draw attention in a positive way. The secret is to wear these colors in well-cut pieces where the fabric has visible quality, because the intensity of the color deserves to be matched with good structure. Royal blue in a silk blouse or a structured knit is pure sophistication. It's a choice for when you want to make an impression without needing flashy accessories or elaborate makeup. The color does the work by itself. Olive green and moss green are interesting alternatives to more vibrant greens. These greens have an elegant sobriety, colors with history but that don't feel dated. They bring sophisticated neutrality, almost like colored neutrals. Olive green especially has surprising versatility, working both in more formal looks and casual compositions. With white hair, these greens create a soft contrast that is visually pleasing without being monotonous. These are colors that pair well with other neutrals and serve as an excellent base to add bolder accessories if you want. True coral, not that salmon orange, but coral with real presence, is another color that deserves more attention. Coral has warmth but isn't aggressive, has energy but isn't frantic, has femininity but isn't cheesy. It brightens the face consistently, bringing life without overdoing it. The challenge with coral is finding the right tone for your skin undertone, because coral that's too orange can look artificial on cool skin, and coral that's too pink may not work on warm skin. But when you find the right coral, it becomes one of the most useful pieces in your wardrobe, the color you wear when you want to look good with seemingly no effort. Medium gray and charcoal. Gray are often underestimated neutrals. Many people think of gray as sad or too corporate, but well-chosen gray is the epitome of understated elegance. Medium gray with a slight blue or green undertone brings modern sophistication, while charcoal works almost like a softer black, creating contrast without the harshness of true black. With white hair, grays create a tonal harmony that is extremely elegant, especially when the fabrics have interesting texture or impeccable drape. It's a color palette that communicates seriousness without severity, professionalism without rigidity. Mustard and burnt yellow are colors that intimidate many people, but can be absolutely fantastic when used well. These are colors with strong personality that definitely make a statement, but with white hair they gain a balance that makes them more accessible. Burnt yellow especially has a rich warmth that brightens without being aggressive. The key with these colors is not being afraid of them. Wear pieces you genuinely like and that have good drape. Mustard in a silk shirt or a soft knit is completely different from mustard in cheap synthetic fabric. The fabric makes all the difference in the final perception of the color. Burgundy and deep wine are colors that bring immediate visual richness. These are reds that have matured with depth and complexity. With white hair, these colors create a discreet luxury effect, an elegance that doesn't need to shout to be noticed. They work exceptionally well in noble fabrics like velvet, silk, or high-quality wool, where the depth of the color combines with the tactile quality of the material. These are colors for when you want to convey sophistication without excessive formality, that sweet spot between elegant and approachable. Black is still a valid option, but it needs to be used with awareness of the effect it creates. Solid black close to the face can be very harsh with white hair, creating a contrast that may harden your features instead of highlighting them. But black in small doses or broken up with interesting texture or combined with other colors near the face remains perfectly functional. The trick is not letting black touch the face directly with no intermediate element. A necklace, a scarf, an undershirt, anything that creates a soft transition between the black and your face already changes the final effect completely. Pure white has its place, but it is one of the most challenging choices. White on white can create a ghostly effect if there isn't enough contrast in other parts of the look. But white contrasted with other colors or white in rich textures that create light and shadow interplay can be absolutely beautiful. White works best when it isn't the only color close to the face, when it's part of a larger composition that includes contrast and points of visual interest. True freedom with white hair comes from understanding that you are no longer limited by the rules that worked before. The white in your hair is a powerful neutrality that opens doors to colors that may never have made sense before. Smart choice is not about following a fixed list of allowed colors, but about experimenting and observing the real effect each color creates on your face, your skin, your overall presence. Some will brighten instantly, others will bring discreet elegance, and others still will create vibrant energy. The secret is building a wardrobe that works with this new version of yourself, exploring the colors that truly make you look and feel exactly the way you want.